Ah, the moon. So bright, so romantic. So, is there a crack in the moon? What the heck, man? You let an alien race occupy the moon for a few years and they destroy the place. You know what? Crota had it coming after messing up the moon like that. Jeez. Well, I guess let's get up there and kick the rest of them out. The moon is Earth's only natural satellite and actually one of the coolest moons out there. With a diameter of about 3,500 kilometers, it isn't the largest moon, but compared to its primary, it's huge. The moon is roughly 25% the size of the Earth, which is a much larger ratio compared to any of the other moons and their planets. Now, of course, that excludes Pluto and Charon, since technically Pluto is classified as a dwarf planet. The moon is also the closest astronomical body to Earth, roughly 384,000 kilometers away. It's close enough that we can discern features on the face of the moon, like a rabbit. Alright, there isn't a rabbit, but there are distinctively dark spots on the moon, and they're named Maria, which is Latin for sea. Early astronomers thought these dark spots were literally bodies of water, but we now know that they are dark plains of basalt formed by ancient volcanic eruptions. There are numerous Maria, and most have names based on states of mind, like Mare Tranquillitatis, which is where Apollo 11 landed, and Mare Cognitum, which is where the Crucible map The Anomaly takes place. One mare is so large, it is designated an ocean. It's named OCEANUS PROCELLARUM, the ocean of storms, which is where we spend most of our time on the moon in the patrol and mission areas. These Maria are part of the signature look of the moon. After all, can you imagine what the moon would look like without them? Well, it's pretty easy actually. You just need to look at the far side of the moon. Now, normally we can't see the far side of the moon because the moon is tidally locked to the Earth, meaning that one face always points towards Earth, which is the side with most of the lunar Maria. So the far side, or dark side of the moon, was hidden for most of human history, and wasn't observed until 1959 when the Soviet Union took pictures with their Luna 3 probe. The pictures revealed a jagged surface with numerous impact craters that drastically contrasts to the smooth basaltic Maria on the near side. Why there's such a dissonance between the faces of the moon is still a mystery, and there are many theories involving things like the thickness of the crust, intense heat from the still cooling Earth, and even a collision with a smaller second moon of Earth. But so far, there's not a universally agreed upon theory about the clash of the opposite sides of the moon. But we still have a lot to learn about the moon, and the answer is still out there. As the moon orbits Earth, the way it gets lit up by the sun changes. We call these changes the phases of the moon. It starts off new as the near side is receiving no light from the sun. But as time passes, the sun begins to light up the moon, and a crescent becomes visible. The crawl of light continues, eventually lighting up half of the moon. When the moon is mostly lit up, but not quite full, it's called a gibbous moon, which is the last phase before the full moon shines in the night sky. The process then repeats itself in reverse order to complete the cycle. The cycle takes about a month, and the months on the calendar are actually based on this cycle. Now, in Destiny, we get a new perspective on these phases. We get to watch the Earth go through its phases. The Earth starts off mostly dark as we see the new Earth. Slowly but surely, the sun reveals more of the blue marble, and we eventually get a crescent Earth. The sun continues crawling across the sky, and we get a half Earth, and soon after, a gibbous Earth. Finally, the entirety of the Earth is revealed, and we see our home planet in all its glory. Inevitably, the cycle continues, and the Earth wanes in its phases. This is an amazing touch that Bungie put into the game, and one I almost missed for this video. And talking about late additions, I have another one. You may have heard the rumor that the moon is slowly moving away from us. In a few billion years, it will have abandoned us completely, and our night sky will be empty. That is somewhat true. The moon is moving further away at a rate of about 3.5 centimeters per year, but that's not a constant rate. As the moon moves further away, the gravitational effects that cause it to move further away get weaker. So eventually, the moon will settle in a stable orbit. Now, on the flip side of this, the moon is also exerting its own gravity on the Earth and slowing the rotation of the Earth, actually making days on Earth longer. In a few billion years, the moon will have slowed the Earth enough that the Earth's rotation will equal the time it takes for the moon to orbit the Earth. So the silvery shine of the moon will radiate through our night sky for many years to come, thereby cementing our celestial friendship forever. Sometime in the future, we will begin a journey towards the stars, and the first steps will be towards the moon. You know what's crazy about that? When we look to the night sky, we won't have to wonder if we're alone anymore, because someone will be standing right there on the moon looking back. Thank you for watching, and see you later. One of the first missions in Destiny involves our fledgling Guardians obtaining a warp drive for their ship, so they can travel to any planet or moon.